Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. One more time all together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So surprises. Sometimes they're welcomed, sometimes they are not. A welcome surprise could be in the form of wealth, could be in the form of a relationship you desired with someone, you know, oh, I like them. Wow, they like me too, what a surprise. Maybe a surprise that's not welcome is losing money or, or falling over. We probably experience more surprises through our lives as a young kid, but even as we get older. So, are we supposed to live a life that's full of routine and we expect everything that's going to come? Or are we supposed to live a life where we're just spontaneous and then, you know, we'll take whatever happens, we'll just take it for what it is and go with it, you know, seize the day, go with the flow. Which one should it be? You know, one side it's like, if everything's just everywhere, then where's your peace? You know, I want some stability, I want some security. I want to know, like I travel, you know. So the main stress of that, so I probably spend maximum 2 weeks in the city. I've been traveling for the last 12 years, non-stop, and been to over 50 countries. And yeah, so the maximum stay would be for 2 weeks in a place. So that means you come somewhere, you don't know where you're going to sleep, when you're going to eat, you know, there's new surroundings, what's the streets all about, what's the culture, what's the political situation, and you just have to adjust. And then you're there, you make all these friends, and you know, you make all these relationships, you get to know the area, and then you have to leave. You got attached to the bed. Oh no, I have to leave it now. And then you're in a new place, new people, new surroundings, new buildings. It's like you died. And then you were born again in some other place, some other situation. So, yeah, I mean, some stability, some, you know, routine would be welcome for someone like me. But someone who's just been in the same town, quiet place, everyone knows each other. You go to the same job every day, back and forth, do the same thing on the weekend, go to the same pub on the weekend, see the same people, watch the same sports. Maybe someone like that would like more spontaneous life, something that's surprising. So which one should it be? It should be in the middle. Should it be like, yeah, spontaneous, whatever goes, we'll take it? Or should it be like, no, steady, on time, on the grid, everything predicted? So my question to you is, has there ever been a time where things have always just been the same and you've expected everything that was going to come?
Expected?
Yeah.
Expected? I don't know what you said.
Like, has there ever been a time in your life where you knew everything that was going to come? Whatever you expected, that's what happened. No, never. Yeah, it was always going to change. So that's the nature of this world. The only thing that's constant in the material world is change. Whatever you are going to hold on to in this lifetime, it's all going to slip through your fingers. They say the Chinese, they're good at making money. So they have a saying, they're like, money, it's like water, you have to let it flow. You know, if you ever try to keep water in your hands, you can't. So that's like trying to keep wealth, trying to build something. It slips through your hands. So, where is the stability if everything's going to change? Like even this body that we have is constantly in change. Every cell in the body is completely replaced every 7 years. So like you have new bodies every 7 years, you know. 21-year-old is in its third body. So what, am I talking about reincarnation here? Yeah, I am. But is this like a belief system? No, it's a fact. You had a baby body before. You know, you show someone your baby picture. Where's that baby body now? It's gone. It's not there anymore. But you still exist. You know, so in the Bhagavad Gita, which is the main spiritual text of yoga, it says, Deosmin yata dehe komanom yavanam jara tatatara tara prapti dhirastata namuyati. This is in Sanskrit. It's like the oldest language in the world. So it said that the embodied soul continually passes from babyhood to childhood to youth to old age. And at death, it goes into another body. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So it seems to be that the only constant thing is us, the witness to all these changes. So you say, no, this is belief. No, this is happening to everyone. It's happening to the Muslim, it's happening to the Christian, to the Jew, to the Buddhist, even to the atheist. Their body is changing constantly. That cannot be denied. So we need to understand who we really are that's watching the changing body. Isn't it? So what is the need of the constant witness of these changes? What is the nature of that constant witness? This is what we need to know. Then we'll get a sense of some real stability, not a temporary one. You know, we may have some temporary job, like the job that you're living in, the job that you have, the house you're living in, the family situation. It can change. It may last for some time, it can be decades, but it's still, you know, the anxiety is there. Oh, I hope it doesn't change. I hope something doesn't happen. So we need a situation that's constant. So the nature of the soul, there's 3 qualities. It's eternal, full of knowledge, and full of bliss. That's who we really are. But the body, it's temporary. It's full of ignorance and it's full of misery. So the idea that we can, that the idea of that stresses us out so much with this world, with its surprises, is that we think that this material body is eternal, that it'll last forever, that it'll give us so much happiness, and that it's fully conscious. This is the misconception. This is the illusion we're living in. We think that we are this body and it's going to live forever. And anything attached to it is going to last forever. This is the problem. That's why when things change, the temporary things become temporary, then we don't like that surprise. This is the problem. So what is the nature of the soul? How do we connect more to the soul? So the idea of meditation is to do that. So we did some chanting now. So this sound vibration is spiritual. It's the same nature as the soul. It's eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. At the moment, the soul is in an incompatible situation. It's in the material world, in a material body, where everything's temporary, full of ignorance and full of misery. So it's like a fish out of water, you know. Have you ever tried to make a fish happy when it's outside the water? You know, give it a Ferrari, give it a nice big house, you know, the latest iPhone. No, it will never be happy until it's back into its original habitat, into its a place in the ocean. So a spirit soul needs to be in the spiritual world, where everything's eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. So how to do that? This is the process of yoga, to connect to the supreme spiritual world, to connect to the source of our existence. This is the purpose of human form of life. So like I said before, this soul is going into many different bodies. Doesn't necessarily mean you will be in a human body in the next life. So it's said that there's 8.4 million different species of life. Say for example, you like to sleep a lot. You know, so then maybe you need a body of like a grizzly bear who sleeps 3 months in the winter. Maybe you like to eat a lot of meat, you know, so then you need like sharp teeth and claws, so then you can get into that nice meat and have that strong digestive system to break it all down. Maybe you like to run really fast, you can get or like to fly in the sky, you know, get a body of an eagle. But the human form of life is considered very rare and most important, because the problem is that the surprises keep coming when you're in the material body. These surprises come, unfortunately, in the form of old age, disease, and death. And you're just born again, you're going through this cycle again. But the human form of life can inquire. It's equipped with high intelligence. Why am I here? Why do I have to suffer? And what happens to me after death? It needs to inquire into this. If you don't utilize that in high intelligence, then you're no better than an animal. Sorry if I insulted anyone. But this is the reality. We have to deal with reality. We cannot live in illusion. So the soul has a need. It needs to be happy. The Sanskrit is anandamaya abhyasa. It's pleasure seeking. The reason why we do anything is to be happy, right? We don't do anything to be unhappy. Why we travel, why we study in school for 20, 25 years, why we make money, why we get into relationships. It's all to become happy. But still the stress comes anyway. What a terrible surprise. So, where does real happiness lie? Out there in the materialistic world, it's usually like 3 things: sex, money, and prestige. You know, whatever advertisements out there has to be attached to sex life, isn't it? But how much problems does sex, you know, when one indulges in sex, how many problems is there? venereal diseases. There's like unfaithfulness in relationships, divorces, breakups, heartbreak, just because of this. And then money, how much happiness will it bring you? Well, the rich man is stressed out because he's always thinking about, I hope no one takes my money, isn't it? The more wealth, the more things you have, the more that's on your mind. I hope no one takes it away from me. And then prestige. If you're famous, if you have so many followers on Instagram, you just keep checking it. Oh, wow, I got 10,000 followers. Wow, some more. Wow, It gives you this this dose, of oh, feel good. People recognize you. Oh, I know you from the street. Become famous. But no, real happiness comes from love, relationships, isn't it? Like between family, between friends, between husband and wife, or girlfriend, boyfriend. This is we're looking for love. But unfortunately, we're putting because of this misidentification with the material world, with this material body, we try to, we have an ocean of love to give, but we always put it somewhere limited. We need a love that's beyond time, space, and thought. A love that goes beyond death, not limited by time. How many relationships we've had, even if it's not like a grandmother or grandfather, mother or father, and then it was just cut off due to time. There's a saying that we all come together in the form of friends and family, just like straws in a river. They all come together for some time, and then by the same waves of that river of time, we get dispersed again. How many times, you remember in school, you had your best friend in one grade or year level? We'll be best friends forever, Then you change classes, and then it's gone. This is love that's limited by space. They say out of sight, out of mind, right? Even though they also say absence makes the heart grow fonder, So which one is it? But most of the time, once you don't see that person so much, long distance relationships are so hard. It diminishes in intensity. And then usually someone wants to break it off, or someone finds an affair like that. And then there's this love that's bounded by thought. So just by thinking of the person doesn't mean they're with you. You don't have that feeling. It's limited. You have to have the person right in front of you. So where can we find such love that's beyond time, space, and thought? So the soul, now we're going to talk about God. Because we talked about ourselves, the soul. So what's God got to do with this? So the spirit soul is an eternal part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, or God, Krishna, Allah, Jehovah. So many names for God, according to His unlimited activities and qualities. And we're the same in quality, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is also eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. But the difference is that His, the quantity, just like an ocean and a drop from the ocean. Same in quality, different in quantity. Or like the sun and the sun rays. Same in quality, but different in quantity. Like that. So when we connect back into that relationship, then we can experience that love, that true happiness that has no beginning and no end. Because we have this ocean of love, we give it to the unlimited. And then we experience a reciprocation that is beyond our capacity, and it overflows to everyone else. This is a life of good surprises. Because you live a life of true reality. Understanding that I'm not this body, I'm an eternal spirit soul. I have a relationship with the Supreme Soul. And then when we connect back again, this awakens that original love that we've been yearning for. So the easiest way to connect back is just what we just did, the chanting of the names of God, this Hare Krishna mantra. It's actually a prayer saying, I've been embarrassed, my Lord, by this material world. Please show me how I can love you again and connect back to you. This is the life of wonderful surprises at every step, a festival every day. So every word's like a song, and every meal is like a big feast. This is the life that every soul is yearning for. So I'll stop here and see if there's any questions about what we spoke about. Maybe if there's some more light. Yeah. I touched on a few things, so I'm waiting for to fill in the blanks on purpose. Oh. Any questions or thoughts? Yeah.
It's not necessarily a question, but it might lead to a question.
Yeah.
I just found the thing really interesting as someone who just recently dipped into spirituality, and it's like quite an overwhelming experience when you realize that you're more than just like your physical body, and you're something that you have never really had the vocabulary to articulate, and trying to figure out how to like articulate that and understand it and wrap your head around it, because it's profound. And yeah, I'm not really sure how to articulate it and express it and understand it. I'm still
Yeah, I mean,
conceptualizing.
yeah, that's nice. Because spiritual, it opens up a whole new world, you know. So the concepts that come up are very wonderful. And yeah, I guess from my studies, from my practice, there's been ability, you get the techniques of how to conceptualize it, articulate it, and go deeper. So, yeah, it's nice. Yes?
You talked about how, as spirit souls, all of us have that innate desire for that unconditional love. We're all looking for it, albeit in these temporary material places. So, as somebody who's committed their life to this relationship, would you say it's made the sufferings of the material world more tolerable? Would you say it's given you more wisdom on how to deal with reality as it is? I
Yes.
think about my own life and my own difficult relationships, and as much as I'm finding peace here, there's a life at home that
Sure.
is also waiting for me.
Yeah, yes, of course.
And how does this relationship with Krishna help you manage the cruelty of life?
Yes. Very nice question. So, our original consciousness is to be God conscious, but at the moment it's covered. So, by the practice of spiritual life, you elevate your consciousness. So, it's kind of like when you're on a plane and you're flying somewhere. So, when you're on the ground, you'll see there's like so many buildings and cars running around, people checking the fuel, this and that. You see so many things on the ground level going on, right? But then as you start to take off, all those buildings and cars, they start to get smaller and smaller, and then you're going above the clouds, and they just become insignificant. So the problems or the unpleasant surprises will still happen, but the effect will be insignificant. And the mentality of a transcendentalist or someone who's connecting to God, they understand, like, say, for example, like, I cut my finger or something. I'm trying to cook and I cut my finger. So most people are like, why did this happen to me? I didn't deserve this. I was trying to do the right thing and then this happened. But a devotee of God, of Krishna, will understand that, no, this is Krishna's kindness. Actually, I deserve more. Maybe my whole arm was supposed to be cut off, but he only gave me a token. And now he's like cleaning my slate, so I become more purified and come closer to him. So it's like the attitude of gratitude. And this attitude is very powerful for advancement in spiritual life. It's like a mentality just turns every negative into a positive. I'll tell you one story that relates to this as well. You've probably heard it. So there's this king and a minister from India. So a king has his minister and you always ask him advice. So the king, he was sharpening an arrow. And it was so sharp that he actually cut his finger off. He's like, and he's like the king, so it's a big deal, say like, the president, cut his finger somehow, it's on the news, and everyone has to know about it. So everyone was making a fuss, the king cut his finger, the king cut his finger. But the minister, he says, no, this is good. He said, this is good? It's like, yes, everything's in the Lord's plan, this is good. He's like, what are you talking about? How dare you? All right, you think it's good? Then I lock you up in the in jail, in the dungeon. And he goes, yes, this is fine. It's all in God's plan. So he locked him up. So then the king, he went on to an excursion, through the jungle. Sometimes they do hunting to practice their art so they can protect the citizens. And he was caught by some cannibals. And they caught him and they wanted to do a whole like human sacrifice thing, and they were preparing him. And then the leader of the cannibals, he said, wait, stop. There's a piece missing, we can't do the sacrifice. So they let him go, like this. So then the king thought, the minister, he was right. I have to go and apologize, So then he releases him. He goes, I'm so sorry. You're right, because this finger was cut off. I would have been eaten by cannibals. But my minister, I ask you a question. Why did you think that me locking you in jail for no reason was good? So the minister says, Your Majesty, I always accompany you on all these excursions. So if they didn't get you, they'll eat me. So it was good that I was in the jail. So this is like the positive spin on everything. There's a bigger plan. And the nature of God is that he never does anything that's for our suffering. He only works for our happiness. So it's like you may think of like a loving mother. It's nearly close to unconditional. But the love of God is like millions of loving mothers. So that's the type of personality we're dealing with. Yeah. Yes?
I have two questions.
That's okay.
Okay. So I'll ask you the first one, you can give an answer, and the second one.
That will work perfectly.
So my first question is, as you said, we are attached to the materialistic desires in this world. The essence of the Bhagavad Gita and Krishna's teachings was to practice a form of detachment in a way. Detachment from materialistic desires, and also a form of detachment from true things that make the soul happy. For example, love and relationships. Now, in a world where people find it so hard to detach from their materialistic achievements and desires, how can one detach or practice a form of detachment with relationships, love, and all the other things that subconsciously make the soul happy? So, how, in a nutshell, how can one detach from materialistic desires and supernatural forms of happiness that make the soul bliss, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. So we're in this world surrounded by material world and it's all very pleasurable. But then we have this spiritual life where it's asking for detachment from everything material. So it seems to be next to impossible because we have no idea what that's like, right? Yeah, no, this is a good question. So it's understood, it's actually explained in the Gita. It's one of my favorite verses. It's 259. The Sanskrit is Visya Vinivatante Nirhasya Dena Rasarajam Rasupiyasya Padam Disva Nivatate. That the, I'll just wait for the transcendental sound vibration. So it's going to be a big answer. So it says that the transcendentalist who's endeavoring to control the senses, because that's, you know, it's the senses that are trying to grab onto things. So they're trying to control the senses, but the taste for sense enjoyment still remains. There's different objects that the senses are. So it still remains that I need to enjoy this material world. But when you practice spiritual life, trying to connect to Krishna, to God, then you get a higher taste. So automatically you give up the lower taste. So it's not like you're just endeavoring to detach and then now I'm going to attach. No, we attach ourselves to Krishna because he's the all blissful, all attractive reservoir of all pleasure. And then automatically detachment takes place. So that's the process of it. And does that mean that, you know, we don't live in this world anymore? No. We live in this world, but we're not going to be a part of it. So we're very superficial with the coming and goings of this world. Because it's like a dream world, you know, it's like an illusion. If people who take their dreams very seriously, you know, it doesn't make sense. You know, you see someone sleeping and they're like, huh, huh, huh. But you're awake, you can see there's nothing going on, right? And then they wake up. When you wake up, then you see. So this attachment to Krishna, practicing Krishna consciousness, becoming more conscious of God, it starts to awaken one from the illusion, from the dream of thinking I'm this body, this material world with all its labels. You start to understand that you're an eternal spirit soul and you're a loving servant and you belong to the spiritual world in a relationship with God. So that will take place more in the consciousness. But you're still here. You're still here, but you don't take it seriously like I explained with the plane because your consciousness has gone higher. Like that. Does that answer your question? We can elaborate if you need.
I mean, it kinda does, but like so I do get the essence of it. So essentially, um, being more conscious, spiritually conscious, in a way, directly or indirectly, helps you to detach from these forms of desires, um, but at the same time also enjoying those experiences when they're provided.
I mean, what do you mean by those experiences? Give an example.
Of course, okay, what I mean is, so for example, let's say you achieve something, you know, anything. Let's say we can talk about students, for example.
Okay.
You achieve a dean's list, you're on the dean's merit list, for example, right? Now, at the moment, you are happy because, okay, I got this achievement. not, base your happiness around it.
Yes.
Yes, it's given to you at the moment, and at the moment you enjoy it. But after that, it almost becomes irrelevant to you.
Yes.
Irrelevant in the sense that it's no more going to affect how you feel in the future.
Yes.
So that's what I'm trying to.
Yes, yes. So this is the answers in the Bhagavad Gita. So this is chapter 2, verse 14. Machas pasas to kuntaya, sutasna sukadugada, gamnya puro nityas, tantatik bharata. So the coming and going, the non-permanence of happiness and distress in this world is just like the coming and going of summer and winter seasons. You know, summer comes, it's so nice and hot. Maybe it's too hot. I can't wait till it cools down. You just have to wait. Then winter comes, oh, it's too cold. Oh my God. You just wait, you know. You don't get too caught up about it. So the same thing with happiness and distress. It comes on its own. But one needs to tolerate it without being disturbed. So that's the art. To tolerate without being disturbed means to be more on the spiritual platform, understanding that I'm the spirit soul and I'm a servant of God. And that's my real duty in life. So, and if you get these big merits and stuff, you'll see it as a gift from God. Okay, he's so kind. Just like, the chop on the finger. This is also a gift. He's so kind. It's all to his credit. Most of the time, when something goes wrong, we say, God, why you did this to me? We give him all the credit for all the bad things. And then when something good, I did it. It's because I worked hard. I did this. But no, everything's a gift from the source of everything, from the Supreme. So that's the consciousness of going on. I'll jump to him and I'll jump back. Is that okay?
No, you follow. You have to wait.
Was it a follow-up?
I had a second question.
Go on.
Okay, heal it.
So my other question was the notion between karma and dharma. So, firstly, do they work as a subset or are they mutually exclusive? And I know for many people it's very hard to balance it because of the work that they have and all of that. It's
Okay.
particularly the younger generation.
What do you mean by karma and dharma? Because people have a different idea. So
My idea of karma and dharma is karma is what you do, right?
Okay.
What you are doing.
For example?
For example, I am a student and I am learning,
Okay.
right? Dharma refers to the moral practices and
Like,
in life as well as your spiritual practices.
okay.
So my dharma would be, if someone's, in a way that becomes usually, you see, that becomes a subset. If I see someone on the streets, for example, and they're asking, they're in a very dire situation and I provide them money for food, for example, that not only ties in within my karma, right, but it also ties in with the moral practices and spiritual beliefs that I partook in.
Okay.
So that was my question.
Yeah.
But how are we meant to balance it? It's harder for the younger generation, particularly us students,
Yeah.
teenagers and all.
Yes.
We have so much going on that we tend to forget that there is a spiritual life.
Oh, the poor young guys. Huh? So much going on. Oh, there's so much going on. Sorry, I'm only joking. I got your question. No problem. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'll just give, because these words get thrown around a lot, but no one really knows the meaning. So the word karma, what goes around comes around. That's your karma. Karma's up. But actually, the definition is there in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 8th chapter. It says that karma is the actions pertaining to the next material body. So you're doing an action that helps build your next material body. So actually, for a spiritualist who doesn't want to take birth again, it's a bad thing. We don't want any karma, good or bad. So that's the real definition of karma. It's a temporary thing. So a karma can also mean activity. So like you said, the student and you study, that's also one definition that's there. So that's karma. Dharma has many, it can mean duty. So we have our duty to our psychophysical nature. According to how we're made up, we're attracted to a certain type of activity and a certain type of people, music, like that. You have your tribe. So you have a duty according to your psychophysical nature that keeps you peaceful when you're in this material world. It could be you're intellectual, or you're like administrative, you like to manage things, or it could be like you like money and business, wheeling and dealing, or it could be you just like to just get told what to do. Just tell me what I'll do, and I'm cool, just maintain me. So we could have that nature. So that's for the psychophysical nature. That's the Svardharma, it's called, for this material body. And then there's the Dharma of the soul. That's called Sanatan Dharma. And Dharma, so most people translate it to religion. This is Hindu Dharma or Muslim Dharma, like that. But that's a speculation. Dharma, in the real sense, means what is the essence of something. So like, say, for example, the Dharma of water is that it's wet. You take the liquidity out of water, it's no longer water. Or like the Dharma of fire is that it's hot, it gives heat. So the Dharma of us, the spirit soul, is actually to serve. So you talked about giving charity to someone. Yes, to serve, we can't help it. This will always be there, even if you're an atheist, a Hindu, a Jew, a Buddhist, whatever. Every living entity has to serve, no matter what. In a family, parents, husband and wife, children, they all serve each other. Even if you're the president of the United States, you have to serve your voters. And even if you're not part of any system, if you're a bum in the street, I don't want to serve anyone, I'm my own man. Still, your belly will growl and you have to serve your belly. So, karma is there, it's made this body now. Okay, we deal with it, and we deal with it in such a way that we can keep it simple, so we have time for our true Dharma, what it is that the soul needs, connecting to God. So you do those activities. And those activities have no karma. They actually burn up karma. And this is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita in the 18th chapter, last chapter. Krishna says, Savadam praditaja mamikam saranam braja aham tam sava papibhyo mokshami masuchaha. He says, give up all dharma. Yeah, abandon all different types of rituals, religious processes, everything. Sharanam mam braja, that you surrender unto me alone. So we do exactly only what God wants. We're not dictated by anything in this material world at all. Just whatever God wants, we're going to do. This is the meaning of true love and bhakti. And then he says, Sava papibhyo aham sava papibhyo mokshami masuchaha. Don't worry, I will destroy all your karma, all reactions, I will destroy it. Masuchaha, do not fear. Do not fear, just surrender unto me. So that's the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, believe it or not.
I'm only a bit, so yours, okay, I understand this, but by surrendering all dharma, you said dharma, right?
Yeah, so all other processes that are presented, that this is all subordinate to surrendering to the will of God.
Okay. No, because I'm just thinking about the Mahabharata, like that happened
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, it was what is perceived to be is dharma versus adharma, right?
Okay, so
So
we're getting
that's
into another subject matter. We can talk after about this one.
Okay.
Yeah, because we got another question will be there.
Might be a bit provocative question, but don't,
Go for it.
I
This is
hope
good.
nobody offended. So my question is that we hear that Krishna is all eternal, right? Or he's everywhere and he has everything, right? And everything belongs to him.
Yes.
So why is that we hear from the previous acharyas, we hear the story of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. He said to Srila Prabhupada, so whenever you have money, you print
Yeah.
books, right?
Yes,
That's
yes.
the famous story, and we know that it is always some demand of some charity that
Yeah.
we can give to the temples,
Yes.
to print books, to distribute
Yeah.
prasadam and everything. And so the question is, why is there is some deficit in the world and in Krishna consciousness as well? And if God is Almighty and has all the benefit, all the how you call the money and
Yeah.
wealth, right? And how much is there a limit of the maximum charity that it can not apply? What's the word for like a deposit? Is there a limit of
No.
how? So
There's no
there is a
limit.
question why there is no limit how much you can give, but and
Could-
there is a deficit.
yeah,
like
once-
where does it come from? Is it only the
Yeah,
moment
so
of
this-
Kali Yuga, or in previous generation it was also deficit? Was there or not? Like what's the
Yeah, so this is the nature of spiritual dealings.
spiritual what?
Spiritual dealings.
Dealings.
Yes. So
Sorry for my English.
that's okay. Where are you from?
Russia.
You're from Russia. Oh, как дела? Хорошо. So yes. So the nature of Krishna is that he's unlimited. So in terms of wealth or whatever's needed, this is always, there's no deficit ever when it refers to Krishna and his will and his mission. Why it may look like that Krishna won't give us so much that we may corrupt ourselves, because we're still conditioned. So if we get too much, maybe a little bit for me, take a little. But the idea is to put it all for Krishna. Just like Arjuna did, he was known as Dhananjaya, which means conqueror of wealth, right? Conqueror of wealth.
Conqueror of wealth.
Yes. So Yudhisthira, he was doing this Rajasuya sacrifice. So then he sent Arjuna to get the wealth from a king did a big sacrifice and all the gold was stolen on a mountaintop. So Arjuna got the name of Dhananjaya, the conqueror of wealth, because whatever was collected, that made it to the treasury. He did not keep anything for himself. So that's how he became conqueror of wealth. So he could do that. Krishna provided so much for him, and then he was able to execute so much. Just like he wanted the Pandavas to rule the whole world, because he knew they were not corrupted, they were pure souls. Just like a father has a business, right? Many sons. So he only trusts the business to the son he trusts, who's obedient to his will. Even though they're so rich. But if a son is disobedient, he will not give so much to them. He'll give enough, he'll provide and maintain him, look after him, but if he's corrupted, if you use it for the wrong reason, he will not give so much. So it may look like deficit. I didn't know you are Hare Krishna.
I mean, if he has no limit of everything, right? What's the problem to supply endless amount of everything?
Yeah,
everybody?
because we ourselves, we are not ready to receive it and use it for the right person. Prabhupada, he said, in 18 days, we can Krishna could give you the whole world, but you will not know how to deal with it.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah, but if you're pure enough, you have to become pure.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can I piggyback off of his question?
Yeah, go for it.
So my big question is, if God or Krishna or whoever is, whichever name, is it so necessary for us to suffer? Like, I understand that like suffering is necessary, but does it have to be like that bad? Like, does it have to like actually
No,
like have that give us the reaction that?
no, it's not so mechanical.
Mm,
So the idea is that so these reactions are there to sort of wake you up, because if you get caught up in this dream world, and then you miss out on a greater happiness. So God understands that our true happiness is with Him, not in this material world. So He kind of shakes it up a bit, puts some sand in the ice cream, you know. You have to enjoy it. Oh, why? Then you start to inquire why, right? Yeah. But the nature of God is that He'll never give us a test that we can't handle.
some people can't handle it.
Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't mean you can't go through the test again. Yeah. It's like, I guess this comes from like a Christian conception that someone has to pay the price for our sins. Or like, in the form of Jesus. Or it could mean that like, oh, there are some reactions and someone has to pay. No, God can, if you understand the lesson before, you don't need to go through it. That's the nature of connecting back to God again. Because your consciousness rises, then you don't need to get the slaps. You already understand. So there's 4 types of intelligence. There's the intelligence, first-class intelligence, means that you hear what's good for you and you understand. So for example, if you want to teach a kid, don't touch fire. Right? So that first-class intelligent kid, he understands. Mom and dad said, don't touch it. Okay, I won't touch it. So there's second class. The kid sees another kid touch the fire and gets burnt. So okay, I won't touch the fire. And then there's third-class intelligence. The kid goes, let me try. Touches the fire, gets burnt. Okay, I'll never do it again. And then there's fourth-class intelligence, where the kid touches the fire, gets burnt, and says, wait a minute, I didn't do it right. So, sounds like Homer Simpson or something. So, most of the time, those who are more materially conscious, they are in the third and fourth class intelligence. But first class intelligence means like they hear like the scripture that God speaks and this is the way to live your life, and okay, I understand this works. So, does that answer
Yeah.
somewhat? Yeah. Cool. Okay.